we have the foresight, we have the wisdom, we have the vision to do big things.
A major announcement from the Chicago Bears today, outlining their plans for a publicly owned enclosed stadium on Museum campus. We have complete details here on your home of the Bears. First F4 starts right now. I hope all is well. I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Sylvia Perez. We start with that huge announcement about the Bears stadium plans. A brand new domed stadium would be built on the lakefront just south of Soldier Field.
Three big questions we will answer for you. What will it look like? What does it mean for the future of the lakefront area and traffic? And what will it cost to you, the taxpayers? Who else to start us off than Luke Canellis?
Terrence, I'll tell you what, the city of Chicago deserves a world-class stadium, and if it comes close to the renderings presented today, no one will be disappointed. Bears giving everyone a sneak peek, and here's a small sample of the 3-minute video. So what does this mean for the lakefront and the museum campus neighborhood? Bears promise a year-round opportunity for community events and some of the biggest sporting events on the calendar.
We want to respect and embrace our history and tradition with Soldier Field. And these views are incredible. And now when you start thinking about having an opportunity to bid for the Super Bowl, for the Final Four, for college football playoffs, Big Ten championship games, concerts, this really becomes an international destination. The Olympics, World Cup.
Why not, right? And this is interesting and could require some real planning. Bears president Kevin Warren says the team would never leave the lakefront during construction, continue playing in their present home at Soldier Field, then move into the new stadium when it's complete.
One of the things that makes this project unique is that we would be able to continue to play at Soldier Field during the construction. And then to be able to move into the new stadium once the construction is finalized. So yes, we would be able to continue to play here and not have to move to a different location, which is really imperative, especially where we are in our growth cycle as a football franchise.
Absolutely agree. Soldier Field is turning 100 years old this year. The Bears in the city need a new mixed-use, all-year-round home to host major events, such as the Super Bowl and Final Four, along with just as important affairs like graduation ceremonies and high school football championships. But who's going to help pay for this new home? Sylvia.
And of course, Lou, that is the big question a lot of taxpayers are now asking, and that is, what's the cost? And what's the cost to me? The Bears project, this will be a $3.2 billion project with more than $2 billion in funding coming from the Bears and the NFL.
That will be a combination of both equity and debt contributions. In addition, we will look to the NFL Stadium program for a $300 million loan. If you add up the numbers, that leaves us with a $900 million funding gap. We will be looking to the ISFA program and their bonding mechanism to fill this gap.
So the math is a little complicated, but the Bears say building the stadium is going to require no new taxes. A 2% hotel tax that's already in existence would cover the public portion for the first phase. But there are future possible infrastructure and improvement costs that could add another $1.5 and $750 million down the road. The Bears point out that they project the stadium to have a positive economic impact of more than $450 million a year for the Chicago region.
And that potential tax impact is leading much of the reaction from lawmakers today.
Plenty of leaders speaking out about the plan, including Governor Pritzker.
Look, I'm a Bears fan. I want to be clear, and I want them to win, and I want them to have a great place to play. But I just think that the taxpayers' dollars need to be protected. I think it's my job to be a good steward of those dollars, and I'm for economic development, believe me, and I've been attracting businesses to the state and working hard to create jobs and to use capital sometimes to help do that. And so expanding a business in the city, for example, is a good thing. The problem is that the offer that they've made just isn't one that I think the taxpayers are interested in getting engaged in.
Let's see what everyone else is saying. Tia Ewing is at the live desk with more reaction to today's announcement.
Well, Terrence and Sylvia, the governor isn't the only one questioning the Bears' plan. The Bears told the village of Arlington Heights just a few weeks ago that their focus is on Chicago and the lakefront, but the NFL team remains the largest landowner in the northwestern suburb. The mayor, Tom Hayes, I got a chance to speak with him. He believes the Bears will come running back.
We ultimately believe that if the Bears are told no, they will refocus their efforts on Arlington Heights.
Well, the franchise still owns 326 acres of land in Arlington Heights. That was purchased last year, a plan that was in the works before Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren took the job. Negotiations with the village became contentious over property taxes, and now the issue of taxes is coming up again with the plan to keep the Bears here in the city of Chicago. Former Governor of Illinois, Pat Quinn, he isn't on board with this.
The mayor is supposed to be an advocate for the taxpayer, an advocate for the lakefront of Chicago and for Lake Michigan, not somebody who's out there advocating for corporate welfare for a private sports franchise that has a value of $5.5 billion. If they want to build a stadium, let them buy the land here in Chicago and build it with their own money. This is just plain wrong that the people of Chicago and Illinois have to subsidize a building of a sports stadium that was rebuilt about 25 years ago.
And of course, you know, in order for this statement, or this stadium, I should say, to come into realization, Friends of the Park, they have to be on board, and they did respond with a lot to say. But here's just some of their statement. The Chicago way was on full display at the Chicago Bears news conference today. Once again, Chicago taxpayers are being told what is good for them. Of course, we'll have much more on that statement from Friends of the Park. We'll have that later on in our newscast. Terrence?